Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are hooking into a concept that is literally going to revolutionize the way you learn. If you're a modern student who is just totally exhausted by the endless grind of rote, mechanical memorization, you're absolutely in the right place. We're going to explore how you can transcend that exhausting approach to achieve deep, non-sensory knowledge and really unlock your intuitive wisdom. So let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll be hitting the limits of materialism, the spiritual scientific mind, breathing for inner alertness, transcendent memory techniques, and finally, the reflective daily routine. How did molecules learn to think? Man, it's such a profound question, isn't it? Treating the brain like it's merely a biological machine, just, atoms and molecules randomly bumping together, it completely fails to explain human consciousness. And for the modern student, clinging to this mechanistic view of learning is basically a fast track to burnout. It just drains the imagination right out of your studies. All right, Section 1, the limits of materialism. This really gets to the core conflict. On one side, we have 19th century scientific materialism. You've got thinkers like Karl Votz who actually argue that thoughts relate to the brain exactly like gall relates to the liver, like just atoms moving like clockwork. But then on the other side is the spiritual scientific perspective. This argues that consciousness actively shapes reality and that the soul requires reflective cultivation if you want to learn deeply. The physiologist Max Verworn perfectly summarized the flaw in this mechanistic model. He said, even if we could look into the mechanism of the brain as we look into the works of a clock, we would never find anything but moving atoms. Examining the physical parts can never, ever explain how sensations, complex ideas, and true intuitive wisdom actually arise within you. Which brings us to Section 2, the spiritual scientific mind. Enter Rudolf Steiner and his truly visionary book, Cosmic Memory. Steiner pioneered anthroposophy, which basically translates to the science of the spirit. He fundamentally critiqued the materialistic view of the 19th century. Instead of reducing learning down to a purely biological function, Steiner's perspective connects human consciousness and our intellectual achievements directly with the cosmos itself. Now, this is where it gets incredibly cool. Modern quantum physics actually bridges the gap to Steiner's esoteric ideas. The Orc-Ore theory, which was developed by Stuart Hameroff and Roger Penrose, proposes that consciousness results from discrete quantum events in the brain's microtubules. This suggests that your deep focus isn't just some biological trick. It's a literal scale-invariant connection to the fundamental structure of the universe. How wild is that? Okay, let's slow things down a bit for Section 3, breathing for inner alertness. To actually awaken that inner spiritual alertness, we can turn to ancient practices like Nadi Shodhana or alternate nostril breathing. It's simple. Place your right index and middle fingers at the base of your thumb. Use your right thumb to close your right nostril and exhale gently through the left. This calming practice beautifully balances the brain's hemispheres and quiets your nervous system. It's the absolute perfect state to enter right before studying. Next up is Kapalabhati, also known as the shining skull breath. Sitting erect, take deep diaphragmatic breaths and then quickly pull your belly button inward to forcefully exhale in quick 1-second bursts. It's a highly invigorating tool. It's been shown to improve cognitive function, boost immunity, and remarkably sharpen your senses across the board: smell, touch, taste, sight, and hearing. Look, taking the time to simply relax and be present, it's absolutely vital. Science shows that mindful relaxation and Zen meditation actually increase GABA levels in the brain, which regulates excitability. You really have to unclutter the bric-a-brac of negative thoughts and achieve true mindfulness before your mind is ready to absorb complex information. Moving right along to Section 4, transcendent memory techniques. So if we want to move beyond soul-crushing mechanical memorization, we have to utilize spatial and multisensory hacks. Take the journey method, for instance. Instead of just rereading a textbook over and over, mentally place facts along your morning commute. Imagine Abraham Lincoln sitting on your front porch, or the Pythagorean theorem written in neon lights in your favorite coffee shop's window. Engage all your senses. Create unique, bizarre mental images to represent concepts. Reorganize facts into logical patterns, and generate rhymes. These tools entirely bypass rote repetition and engage your brain's natural, intuitive wisdom. There's this beautiful ancient quote: "I am the son of earth and starry heaven. I am thirsty, please give me something to drink from the fountain of Mimosini." By utilizing these memory hacks, you aren't just performing neat little party tricks. You are tapping into ancient, transcendent ways to awaken inner clarity, and you're treating your memory as a sacred, infinite capacity of the soul. And finally, Section 5, the reflective daily routine. All right, so how do we pull all of this together? It all builds into a perfectly balanced daily schedule. Your mornings are for gentle reflection, using Nadi Shodhana and 15 minutes of mindfulness to prep the mind. Your afternoons are for your deep intellectual study, utilizing tools like the Journey Method. And then finally, your evenings are reserved for gratitude and consolidation to really solidify those gains. I really want to zoom in on those evening practices because honestly, they're the key to genuine inner growth. Take 15 minutes to write down your daily reflections. Just the simple act of writing significantly improves your attention. Practice progressive muscle relaxation. Literally feel the tension release from your toes all the way up your spine, leaving you in total calm. Close your eyes and mentally recreate a beautiful landscape to exercise your visual memory. Keeping a sensory, reflective journal ensures your intellectual efforts yield genuine wisdom. Well, we're going to wrap up this explainer with a final, kind of provocative thought. If your mind isn't just some biological machine, but an active creator of reality directly connected to the cosmos, how will you choose to focus your infinite imagination tomorrow? I challenge you to abandon the mechanistic educational grind. Embrace your spiritual scientific memory potential, follow your new daily routine, and awaken your inner genius. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.